The event is tomorrow, and I've been up for quite some time already because I had a call with my own coach at about 6:30, and then I had a call with my own clients. Later on I have another call with a new client that's signing up. Yeah, it's going to be a busy one.
I've been cut short for a long time. All the while I was plotting around the confines. Way before I even knew how to talk right. Warm hearted, had the bars on frostbite. Early mornings make way.
So tomorrow's event is for the Creator Circle, which is the highest kind of tier in my program. The guys that I work with on what I call a one-to-one partnership basis. And there's only 8 of those, but they're all over the world. There's people in America, there's people in New Zealand, and maybe a few other places. So every quarter we meet up in person, but obviously not all of them are going to be able to make it every single time because they're so far away. We've got a couple of people flying over. One guy's flying over from Bulgaria, which is pretty cool. A couple of people traveling from Scotland and stuff like that. But there's only going to be 10 of us, and that's kind of as big as I like to have these events because I've ran one with 30 before, but it's more me teaching, and I think you can just do that online very easily. I'm also wanted this to be a mastermind where we're sitting, we're discussing, and you know, breakthroughs are able to happen in conversations. Not only do I need to set up tomorrow's event, not only have I got the calls, but of course, there's all the clients to get back to at the same time as well. So it's going to be a busy one. I don't think I've ever gone into an event and been well slept. I'm pretty sure that every single event I'm up late. It's always fun having these. Yeah, this is the office, guys. This is the office. For some reason today, no one's in on a Thursday. So for probably the next 2 hours now, the big thing that I need to be doing, powered by this coffee, is finishing off the actual slides for tomorrow. Now, it's a weird middle ground because it's not slides as in like I'm teaching. It's more of an ongoing conversation that kind of flows wherever it needs to flow for each and every individual person. But that needs some sort of format. It needs some sort of flow. So right now I'm going in and creating the flow of the day, creating the process that we're going to be going through. Because the one thing that I want for every single person at this event, it's not going to be leave with a notebook filled with like loads and loads of pages. It's not going to be some little tactic that works now, but it won't work in a month's time. It is one big breakthrough in their messaging, in the impact that they want to have with their coaching business, with how they want to show up in the marketplace, and their thought leadership, the ideas that they're bringing to the world. It is a breakthrough on one of these things because these are the things that have an impact now, and they have an impact for a very, 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 very long time after.
Breakfast in the morning was a soup or a Pop-Tart. Showers in the hydrant, then it's back to the front yard. I started with the Harbor King and now I'm making a Prince. Fell off on the other side.
I remember when I ran my first event. Well, actually, that's not even true. It wasn't my first event. My first event was different. My first event was, it must have been maybe 9 years ago now, when I was a personal trainer / an online coach. I remember I was having dinner with my dad, and he told, I kind of just spoke about the idea of running an event, because even back then, when I wanted to be the best kind of fitness coach and health coach I could possibly be, every weekend I'd be traveling to different cities and stuff like this, attending seminars and stuff, learning about that stuff. And I started telling him like I'd like to be the person that's doing them one day. And he challenged me to just do one in the next month. And I was like, what? But I get it. Like, just do the thing that you keep telling yourself that you want to do and that you'd like to do in the future. And it's a great way to think. Like, if you're telling yourself you're going to do something, fucking just do it now. And you can just collapse time. The second one I ran was in my last business, which was a men's personal development kind of peak performance kind of thing business. And the reason it's hard for me to say what kind of business it was is because it wasn't really very well easy to define, and that was the problem with the business, by the way. But it was cool. I did run my first ever like real event there when I had like 25 guys all day, someplace in London. We had people again flying over from different countries and stuff. It was really cool. And I remember that event, running it for the first time ever. I was on stage instead of watching, which was already crazy. Meeting all my clients in person, which was already crazy. But I remember after the event when all the nerves had gone, because I was super nervous. We was at some sort of restaurant. We was all on the table. I was right at the end, looking down and seeing like all my clients talking to one another that I'd never, they'd never seen each other before, but I knew every single one of them personally. And I remember looking down and like everything that I'd built up until that point was now real and in front of me, if you know what I mean. It was the first time that it really felt like, oh my God, what have I built? All of these people are here, not necessarily for me, but like I've kind of built this thing. It's really cool. So events are a really, really cool way of just kind of seeing what you've built in reality, because it's so easy to not really see that when it's all online. The night before, I was in a hotel in London, because I ran it in London. I don't live in London, so I was in a hotel myself, nervous. And I would have loved it to just not go ahead at that time. I was nervous. It felt like I was about to go in and have a boxing match or something. And I remember thinking to myself, how can you be nervous going and having to speak in front of 25 people that you already know, if you've got goals of, eventually speaking in front of hundreds or maybe even thousands of people? And that kind of memory of like, you've got goals that are way bigger than this. You have to be able to do this if you're ever going to be able to make that a reality, was the thing that kind of not got me through, because I was going to get through anyway, but kind of pushed me through really, really well, One extra little stop off before tomorrow. I want everyone to have a little brain drink for the day ahead. So we're going to go to the only ever shop that I've ever seen in person that sells Newtonic, the nootropic drink, and we're going to get 10 for everyone in the room for tomorrow and surprise them with it. How many do we need then? 10, 11. Do you want one for today or just for tomorrow?
I'll get one today.
Yeah. 12. I was fitness coach before. I made money in that, and to the point where I didn't really want to do it anymore because I wasn't passionate about the work. I was just doing it to make some money. What I was really excited by is helping guys find purpose, realize they are the conscious creator of their life, and start fucking acting like it instead of just living passively and just letting their life become whatever it unconsciously becomes. So that was what I moved into. I called it the Power Project. Problem was, no one really wakes up in the morning and wants that thing, what I just described, right? Although it's so important and it's so powerful, and for the clients I did get, it was changing their life. It basically didn't work as an offer. And funnily enough, going through that process of like having this business that didn't work for 2 years taught me all the things I know now about being able to build a business that is actually aligned with you and actually works as well. So I went into this business, and for 2.5 years, sales just plummeted. It was a great program. It was changing guys' lives. Like I said, we had a live event and people flew over and stuff. It was amazing. But no one bought it, or very few people bought it, and sales were really hard to come by because no one really knew what it actually did for them. No one really knew what it was. And those 2.5 years were the actual years that formed what I now do, because I had to learn exactly how to take something that's aligned with you and also turn it into a business that actually works at the same time and do both. So, I realized the offer was the problem. I looked back over the last 10 people that had signed up for the Power Project, and about 7 of them all wanted the same thing. They wanted help finding their purpose so they could turn it into an online business and make money online. So I was already doing it for people. And I realized that that was what people wanted. All right, so 9:22, event starts in 8 minutes. I was just saying how done so many of these events now that I haven't been as nervous this time around. Usually I'm way more nervous than this, and I haven't made it as much of a big deal because now they're happening every single quarter. But that's actually now made me more nervous because I'm like, maybe I haven't been nervous enough for this. Maybe I haven't made it as much of a big deal as I need to. Made a bit less content than usual because usually I never get through it all. So now nervous, have I made enough? Let's see what happens.
Ain't no staring in my whip, I'm going black with the tents. Cause I ain't trying to chase a dollar, doesn't make any sense. I'm fascinated.
What today's all about, I may have already said this, but connecting with other coaches on the same journey as you, like that's one of the best things. I don't know, so I know some of you, you know, have been to loads and loads of events like this, like me. Is this anyone's like first kind of thing like this, where they go into a business event, see it meeting coaches and stuff like this? I know a lot of the people in here because I met a lot of them at events like this, like years and years ago, and I've done the same myself. I've come to so many of these, and they are often the things that are the best are actually the conversations in between. As much as I'd like it to be me. Rough schedule, kick off an annoying fire alarm. We've now done that, tick. We're not going to stick to this times. Everyone knows that if you've been to an event of mine, we're not going to stick to these times. They're just there as a formality. Leadership, world building, content, brand, that's where we start. This is the big thing that starts to shift everything else. Then we go into the offer stack. Going into especially these one-page plans things, we're going to be speaking about that and how you can kind of create your own signature micro offer.
Ain't no staring in my whip, I'm going black with the tents. Cause I ain't trying to chase a dollar, doesn't make any sense. I'm fascinated with the life these rappers living through.
So we're just outside the room at the moment, just basically to shoot this. But inside the room, what's going on is everyone is in groups of 3. And before we get into the rest of the content for the day, the thing that I want everyone to reconnect with is why they are actually in business in the first place. Why is it important for them and the people around them and their vision? Like, what is their big vision with this? And then also, what is the impact that they want their business to actually have? Because it's so easy for us as coaches or anyone in business to be thinking about where can we get the next sale, or thinking about, like, you know, the revenue target over the next 90 days or 6 months. But really, in the grand scheme of things, these are really, really small. And if we only think in these timelines, we are actually thinking small, right? And years can just pass us by without us actually going to those big things that we really, really, really want. So what we've just done is got them connected to why am I in business, and got them to break that down into high, hard goals, which are big goals that they want to achieve over the next 2 to 5 years. And then we're making sure that everything that we do now to be able to build the business now and get them good money now and get them standing out in the market now is also something that's going to take them to these big, high, hard goal businesses, whether it's whether it's publishing a book, whether it's having one of the biggest mindset podcasts in the world, whatever it is. I want them to be connected to that big vision now and start working from that place. So that's what they're doing in there right now. That we've spent so long not actually like with me talking much. So I'm eager for this kind of talking bit to finish so we can actually get really going with things. The day's finished.
Sweet. So here
I got through about 50% of the stuff that I prepared, again, as always. So again, mental note, next time I need 25% of what I normally need. Now, I also forgot to book food, so hopefully we're going to be able to get somewhere to go and eat. Now the plan is we go and eat somewhere. Okay, so I come here almost every single week to smoke a cigar. So somehow in Dakota here in Manchester, I managed to get in the VIP list. And I managed to pull some strings and we made it happen.
Back on the fence. Ain't no staring in my whip. I'm going black with the tents. Cause I ain't trying to chase a dollar. Doesn't make any sense. I'm fascinated with the life these rappers living through. Contemplated my next move up in my living room. Circle small, keep no suckers in my inner crew. Water full of sharks, I keep no guppies in my swimming pool.
Okay, guys, that is almost the end of the day. We're probably going to continue on now after dinner, but we'll probably stop filming here. That was a really, really cool day. Fun week leading up to it. As always, everything just becomes a bit of a blur leading up to these events, preparing everything and yeah, just making sure everything's correct. But as always, these events are always the highlight of like my work at all times. Like every single time I have one of these events, it fills me with so much fulfillment, because it's just the people that you've been working with, the impact that you're having, it is all there in front of you, and it is really, really cool. It's the first time that everything starts to really feel real. I've been doing this stuff now for 10 years, maybe even over 10 years now, maybe 11 years. And from the very beginning, when I was a personal trainer, I was traveling around on my own, getting trains when I was quite young, going to seminars. I just think it's really, really cool now, 10 years later, running these myself, being the person running them and being able to give back a lot of the things that I was learning. Not back then, because all the way back then was fitness, but the business stuff and everything else. Anyway, these days are always cool, and they get me very, very reflective on things. If you're watching, like, if you're a coach, run one of these days. they are just so good, and just to be able to show you're running things like this is so, so good for just like your positioning and everything else. And if you're anyone else, start now, whatever it is. If I hadn't started attending things like this and working on myself back then 10 years ago, I wouldn't be running the exact same things now 10 years later, and it's been a fun journey in between. So yeah, thank you for watching the video. See you later.